This educational film is brought to you by NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, and also brought to you by good chocolatey Ovaltine and the new Gillette Techmatic razor. Take it to the moon with you.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Sinatra Lennon. Shaving where no man has shaved. Anyway, hey everybody. Well, it's the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. So I wanted to make this video to show you what sort of razors they used on the way to the moon and on the flight just before the way to the moon. So had you ever thought about that? I hadn't. I hadn't thought about, did astronauts shave back then? And for the most part, they didn't. If you see old photographs of astronauts from the 60s, like the Gemini program, things like that, they would take off clean shaven because that's the kind of people they were. They were clean shaven, crew cut, military guys. And they would come back 7 days later, or however long the mission was, with beards. And they didn't like it. They didn't want to have these scruffy beards because they were not in style at that time. And certainly later on in the 1960s, it would be like the hippies that had all that. So these guys went out into space, clean shaven, came back with full beards, and a lot of them didn't like it. They wanted to figure out a way to shave in space, and so they tried electric razors at first with like a special vacuum tube, and I think that was cumbersome, and so for the most part they just didn't until Apollo 10 in 1969, just before the Apollo 11 flight to the moon. The astronauts on that flight decided to use safety razors with brushless shaving cream because they found out it wasn't a problem. They could do it. And then Apollo 11, Michael Collins, there's pictures of Michael Collins. I'm going to show you a picture right now of Michael Collins on Apollo 11 shaving. Here it is. And what was he shaving with? He was shaving with Old Spice brushless shaving cream and this razor right here, the Gillette Techmatic. Have you ever seen one of these before? I had never heard of these until I was watching one of Kensurfs videos a while back, and I instantly became fascinated by this razor. And he was talking all about it. I'll put a link to his video that inspired me to even buy one of these things and make this video. And I bought this several months ago, so I've been waiting to use it. I have not used it yet. And the good thing is, if I end up liking it, then I've got some refills. You see these heads? Have you ever heard of a Techmatics? They came out in 1965. These are the refills. This is where the blade is, inside here. It is a continuous band, spooled and retractable razor blade. It's inside there, and I'll show you how that works. But you can find these on eBay all over the place. You can get them cheap sometimes. Sometimes they want a lot of money for them, but yeah, so with each one of these heads, you get 10 shaves, and you can dial it in. I'm going to tell you all about that. Here's the razor. This one is from 1972, and so it was still, still going on. They were sold these into the 1970s, and then they stopped. And so let me take it out of here, and I'll kind of show you how it works. Now, the funny thing is, when Apollo 10 was testing out shaving in space with the brushless creams and everything, they did a little joke and they said, okay, we're going to be doing a special experiment and it's called Sierra, Hotel, Alpha, Victor, Echo. So that if you're listening, and that's shave, S-H-A-V-E, that's those, the code words they use. I can't remember the term of that, but anyway, so let's do a little Sierra, Hotel, Alpha, Victor, Echo right now with the Techmatic from 1972 that just came out of the package. And it was open before the back was popped. It has not been used. If you look closely on this side, there are numbers that tells you how many more shaves you have left. So this one has 5. These all have 10. So I guess later on you could buy one that had, more shaves on it. And how it works is there's this little dial on the back, and that's what spools the new blade portion up here into the head, and the rest is weighting down inside here, and then it goes up and around and then back down again. So the old one spools back up towards the bottom. So let's shave with this thing. I haven't tried it. I want to try it. And now's the time. I'm going to adjust it. You can adjust it from low to high just by doing this little switch here. So I'm going to go right, let's see. I'm going to go one from the highest and just see what that's like, because I like an aggressive shave. Now this thing still has the little plastic on it, a little cap, so let's take that off. There we go. And let's try this Techmatic razor out. Now, I don't have any Old Spice brushless shaving cream, but I do have the Helmsman brushless shaving cream that was just recently sent to me, and I haven't tried this yet, so I figured this would be a great time to try it out. So let's try out the Helmsman shave cream. And let me show you how the head comes off of here when you're out of blades. See this little black button here? You press this button, I'm gonna hold on to it, and it just clicks out. And then you kind of pull it out. And then you got this, and you put a new one in. And there's the thing where you can twist it around. That's what controls the blade spooling. So I'm gonna put this back in. Just clicks back in place very easily. And I read some online opinions, and a lot of people say it's not very good razor. So I'm excited to try it. I haven't tried it. It's been sitting in my drawer for months. I just took a shower, did my hair. I'm gonna put some hot water on my face right now. Ooh, it's hot. Oh. So they didn't really, I guess on Apollo 10, the spacecraft finally had some sort of hot water available. So that helped out when they wanted to shave. But it's still, they said that the razor would get clogged with the shaving cream. And yeah, so there you go. Let me see, I've got my little notes over here to see if I got everything. Yeah, originally, like when the astronauts came back down to Earth, they would ask for razors to be in the rescue boats that came and picked them up when the capsule had splashed down, because they wanted to, when they got on camera, when the press were there on the Navy ship that they got back to, they wanted to be clean shaven again. So they specifically requested, if they couldn't shave in space, let us shave after splashdown. All right, put some water on my face again, because the more I talk, the more it dries out. And let's try the Helmsman out. So it's original scent. This is made in the USA, manufactured exclusively for Helmsman Industries up in St. Louis, and is BPA free, no animal testing, gluten free, paraben free. And there you go. Let's try this stuff out. All right. If you've never tried brushless shaving cream before, you just smear it on your face. Now, I've used the Cremo before, and I actually didn't realize that Cremo was a brushless shaving cream, and so I used a brush, and it actually worked pretty well. But with this stuff, I'm going to act just like I'm floating in space, pretend I'm weightless. God, I wish I could pretend I was weightless. But here we go. So you just smear a layer on. Doesn't have to be too thick. You just get it on there. So you can see why this would be good in space, because there's not, like, you don't need a brush, you don't need a can of aerosol shaving foam that might get out of the way. This is more easily handled. Now this doesn't have very much of a scent to it. It's like, it says it's original scent, but it doesn't have much of a strong scent. It's more like just a very, very mild soap scent, so that's nice. And it went on very smoothly. It doesn't feel thick like a lotion, you know. It's a shaving cream, as it says right there. Now, let's try it out. I'm going to dip it in some hot water down here. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Since this blade has been exposed for, 40, was it 1970? This is 72, so 47 years. I'm going to advance it and get the next one in. So what you do is there's an arrow here, and you follow the dial, goes around, and then back up to the top, and then it clicks. And now it shows the number 4 on the little dial. So now we've got a new blade. I'm trying to see if I can see the blade, see if there's any corrosion on it. There looks like there might be a little corrosion. I can't quite tell, but let's see how it shaves. All right. It's a strange shape. I think it's kind of a cool idea that Gillette came up with this and then put their ads out saying that you no longer have to touch razor blades, which, is a nice, idea and a good marketing, I don't, they sold this for a while, but I don't think it was a success, because I don't know how well it shaves, certainly compared to a safety razor, a normal safety razor, double-edged. I'm trying to get the angle right. It feels very mild, even though I have it on the setting second from the highest. I do feel very, very kind of spacey doing this. Closest I'll ever get to going to the moon is shaving with this razor right now. It's kind of weird. It is getting clogged up. I do see that's kind of a problem because there's not very much space between the guard and the blade there. I had to really kind of get okay, that's a little bit better. I need to do a better job of getting the shaving cream out of the razor itself. I hear it shaving, and I'm trying to get the angle right. I'm gonna have to fill up my little bowl a little bit more because I'm splashing all the water out. I'm trying to figure out the exact angle that I'm supposed to hold this razor against my face. It's not doing a great job. It could be also that it's, 47-year-old steel razor blades, they will dull over time, and I don't know if this thing's been, even though it was in the package, I don't know if it's been handled, which is another reason why I wanted to advance it to the next shave. Maybe I should try it again. Maybe I should try the next one. Let's do that. Mid-shave. I got 3 more. I'll probably never use this again. Why not? I felt for a while like I was going to corner the market on buying these old Techmatics off eBay. I got them for 2 for like $10, I went through this little spree a few months ago where I just kept buying them. And now I've got 3. I got enough Techmatic blades to last the rest of my however many times I'm going to use this. But yeah, space. I watched a documentary, American Experience, on PBS about the Apollo moon landings, and it was just, I didn't know anything about the real specifics of, when they got there. They almost had no more fuel left when they finally landed. And Neil Armstrong was kind of piloting the ship by himself. He was, they all were pilots, which is why they were astronauts. And he was doing it all himself towards the end. He didn't want to land in the original landing site, which is like this giant crater, because he was afraid that it would get, I don't know what he was afraid of, but he said, no, that's not a good landing spot. So he chose one himself, which is kind of cool. All right, so I'm feeling my face, and there's a lot of stubble left. So it could be that it's not a great razor, or it could be that it's just an old, blade, and so it's not, not as good as it could have been. I switched to a new blade area, I guess. I'm gonna switch all the way to the high and get a little bit more blade exposed, see if that changes the shave for me. Okay, put some more of the Helmsman shave cream on. You get a lot in this tube. I'm gonna try to put it on a little bit more lightly because, the whiskers are pretty much, well, they're not gone, they're still there, but you don't need to slather on a thick layer if you're doing a second pass. All right, but it feels fine, the Helmsman. I kind of wish there was a little more of a scent to it, of some sort of a scent. It just seems like soap, which is good for some people if you have sensitive skin. It's BPA free and all those other things, paraben free. But thanks to the people at Helmsman for sending it to me and let me try it out, especially right when I needed a brushless shaving cream for this Apollo 11 shave. I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed in this razor. I actually thought it was gonna be really great. I'm not sure why I thought that. I think I just like the design. It's really interesting and weird and very 1960s, 1970s, which I like the aesthetic of. I think it's doing a little bit better on the higher setting for me. It's not like a Mula R41, mind you, which I might or might not have already tried on my own in private. I'm still alive. Maybe I need to get the angle right. I think I'm getting the angle right, but I think it's just maybe a dull blade. Let's try again. I gotta keep doing this. Let's go again with the click. Now I only have 2 more shaves left. Oh no. Oh no. Dearie me, what will I ever do? I'm telling you, this was kind of one of the first steps Gillette was taking towards getting you to buy cartridges, away from double-edged safety razors just selling the handles, and then you could buy the blades from anywhere. They're trying to lock you into this, and they're still doing that. I mean, hey, you know, it's a company. It's a free market, capitalist society. So just because they come out with something new doesn't mean it's better than the old thing, as you all are, I'm sure, aware. All right, I'll put some more water on. I'm gonna get most of this shaving cream off. There's still a lot of whiskers going on here, so it's not shaving great. Now I might try it again with one of these other cartridges, because I mean, what do I need 3 cartridges sitting around for? I'm not gonna do it now. If I do that, I'll do it again at another time, but I'm gonna keep this and keep the package, because that's kind of cool that it's still in the package. It sold for $3. Yeah, there's a number 3 there, so do the inflation calculator and find out. That's probably about, what, $30-something in 1972 compared to today. All right, let's do a third pass. Come on, let's do a third pass. Do just a teeny bit. Sorry about the lighting. All right, just a very, very light smear of the Helmsman. All right, I'm gonna try to make sure this thing is completely unclogged with shaving cream, because that's something I have noticed with the brushless shaving creams. They do clog more easily because they're more like a lotion than a foam, you know, or like a bubbly cream. I'm just gonna shave as I normally do. You can still hear it. Hear the whiskers that are there. Wonder where this thing ended up. How it stayed in its package all these years. Was it like an old pharmacy that went out of business and had stock in the back room? My stepdad, his father owned a Ben Franklin 5 and dime store in Mississippi. And when I was younger, in my late teens, we visited the old store. It had closed down, I think, in the late 80s, and the whole store was full of stuff still. They hadn't taken any of the stuff out, and it was like, oh my gosh. So he kind of let us go in there and look around and take 1 or 2 things if we wanted to. And my brother and I went into the stock room and found several boxes. It must have been 10 boxes of baseball cards from the 1960s. Unopened, all in the original boxes, original packages. We were like, oh my gosh. So stupidly, we opened one of the boxes and started opening the baseball cards and go, look at these. Then we showed our stepdad. He's like, yeah, I'll take those, thank you. And he took the rest, and I think they're in a safety deposit box right now. I think he sold one at auction. But this was years ago, so it's hard to remember. But that was cool. It was like a time capsule in there. All right. Ooh, I felt like almost a nick. Hey, what are you trying to do there, mister? I'm going to leave you on the moon. There actually is one of these with the brushless shaving cream in the Smithsonian right now. Michael Collins left it there, or, donated it to them. All right, cold water on my face. Get that all off and see how up here it feels fine. And down here it's, the normal amount of stubble that I have because I don't go, across the grain all the time. So it's not too bad, but it's not great. It's not great. So I think it was a good marketing idea. And it was probably a good idea to try, using it in space because there were less things to worry about, just it was all contained. You didn't have to open new packages of anything, and you could use brushless shaving cream. I'm trying to go sideways and get some of these whiskers here because I got a couple of nicks. I don't want to overdo it, All right, that's enough. Well, I wonder if Michael Collins and the guys on Apollo 11 had the same experience back then with this as I did today. Now, I'm sure they didn't use an aftershave in space because, that might be too much. Okay, so I was thinking, well, what aftershave should I use today? I was like, well, what aftershave has been around a long time? And I thought, well, the Florida water and all that, but what would have been like more kind of like an obvious thing to use, and probably Aquavelva. This or Brute or something like that. I'm not sure when these came out. I didn't do the research on the aftershave part, but I figured, what the heck, let's use some Aquavelva. Aquavelva. Oh, since 1917, so yeah, certainly could have been used. Ooh, that bright blue. Oh man, it smells like your grandpa's barbershop. And that's kind of good, you know? Even if you didn't have a grandpa or know your grandpa, if you buy, this is grandpa in a bottle right here. If you buy Aquavelva, this is grandpa in a bottle. You can imagine what it would be like to go into an old barbershop in the early 1970s and smell your grandpa coming out freshly shaven. Anyway, so that's it. That's the Apollo 11 NASA shave with the Techmatic, which is not a very good razor. Yeah. It didn't cut me up or anything. Didn't give me razor burn. That thing I felt over here didn't end up being anything. So seems like maybe it was just Gillette trying to get you roped into buying these little suckers right here. That may be cynical, but I think they've got a proven track record of doing that. But like I said, they're a company. It's a business. That's it. I think that's it. Okay, well, thanks for joining me, everybody. Happy moon landing anniversary to all of you. And I will see you from somewhere in the northern part of our United States on Monday. So stick around for that. I don't know where I'll be, what I'll be shaving with, but I think there might be some of this in my travel bag. Yeah, the small kind. All right, thanks for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you soon.